Now that you have Node.js and Sublime Text installed on your machine, I want to introduce one more program that you actually already have on your computer. This is called the terminal. Now, sometimes it's called the command prompt or the command line, depending on the operating system you're on. They all refer to the same thing though. It's a way to run commands on your machine. And one of those commands that we're going to run a lot in this course is execute this Node.js application. Obviously, that's the sentence way to say it, but basically, we're going to be using the terminal to run our apps. If you have no experience with the terminal, that's perfectly fine. That's what this video is for. I'm going to get you the basics so you can navigate to the folder that your project is in. We'll talk about what that means in a second, and run your Node project. If you're on a Windows computer, I actually want you to skip this video and go on to the next one. If you're on a Linux or a Mac computer, I want you to watch this video and skip the next one. The reason being the commands are slightly different, so it's best to introduce them separately. All right, if you're on Mac or Linux, stick around. Here we go. The first thing I'm going to do is create a new folder on my desktop. I want a place to store all the files for this course. I'm going to go ahead and right-click my desktop and create a new folder called Node-Basics. Perfect. Now, the next thing I want to do is actually open up the terminal. To do that, I'm going to be using Spotlight, but you can always go into the Applications folder. I'm going to type terminal. Perfect. Now, this is the terminal. All you do in the terminal is run a command, and the terminal prints out some sort of output. Let me show you what I mean. Open up your terminal, and on the same line, I want you to type echo space a quotation followed by hello world exclamation mark quotes. Go ahead and hit enter, and let's see what happens. Now, what you see here is two things. First, you see the command that we actually executed, echo hello world. It's identical to what's up here on this line. Next, though, we actually see the output of our little program, for lack of a better word. Hello world is printed to the screen just as we expected. Now, echo is one of many commands that are available to you. It's a basic command that simply spits out whatever you give it. Now, onto more important commands. The only reason we need to use the terminal is to run files inside of this Node.Basics folder. In order to run files in this Node.Basics folder, we need to know where this folder is on our machine. Now, there's quite a few ways that you can figure out where a folder is. The way I recommend is right-clicking the folder in your Finder or Windows Manager. Look for Get Info or something like that, and you should be able to see a full path of where the folder is. In this case, it's in users/AndrewJMead/desktop. Now that we have this information, we can head over to the terminal and navigate into the Node.Basics folder. Before I do, I want to show you what that looks like inside of the Finder. I'm going to go to Andrew J. Mead. This is my users folder, and inside of here I have my desktop folder. So when I want to change directories, I simply click desktop. Now I'm in the desktop folder, and I have a list of all the files and folders on my desktop. In this case, it's only one folder called Node.Basics. Next, I can change my current directory to Node.Basics. Here, I can see there's actually nothing inside of the Node.Basics folder. All right, so now that we've changed directories in the Finder and we've gotten to Node.Basics, let's do the exact same thing in the terminal. I'm going to be introducing 3 commands. The first one is pwd, and this stands for print working directory. This is going to give you an output of where you are. So if you're in the Finder and you were to run pwd, it would say that you're in Andrew J. Mead /desktop/Node.Basics. Since we're in the terminal, I'm going to type pwd, hit enter, and you can see that I'm in users/Andrew J. Mead. Fantastic. I know exactly where I am, and now I can navigate from here into the Node Basics folder. pwd simply prints out the path that your terminal is currently running in. Now, when I say currently running in, at any point in time, you're inside of a certain folder. Much the same way that anytime you're in your Finder, you're in a folder. It might be the desktop folder or your Google Drive folder, or even the folder where I'm storing the files for this course. No matter what, though, you're in a folder, and every folder can contain folders and files. On to the next command. If you want to view the folders and files inside of the current folder, you can type ls, hit enter, and it's going to list out all of the files and folders that you have access to in this folder. In this case, you can see my desktop folder, which is what we want to navigate to next. I also have some built-in OS X folders like applications. I have Adobe Creative Cloud files and a couple other miscellaneous folders like that. In order to navigate into desktop, which is much the same as clicking the desktop folder in the Finder, we need to use the last command I'm going to introduce, which is cd and stands for change directory. This one's pretty cool. Change directory is going to let you specify a folder name and navigate into that folder. In this case, I know I have a desktop folder I want to navigate into. I can run cd space and then the name of the folder, desktop, hit enter, type pwd and hit enter, and you can see I've changed from users Andrew J. Mead into users Andrew J. Mead desktop. If I run ls from the desktop, I should see something a little different, and here it is. I have the Node Basics folder, which is exactly what I expected. You can see that the ls command prints the exact same output that the Finder would print if I clicked on the desktop folder. All right, now it's your turn. I want you to type cd space and then the folder name Node Basics to navigate into the Node Basics folder. After that, I want you to run pwd and make sure the command ran successfully. Take a moment to navigate into the Node Basics folder from the desktop. When you're done, click play. All right, you remember that to navigate into a folder, we need to type cd followed by the folder name. In this case, the folder name is Node-Basics. If I hit enter, you can see that I've switched into the Node Basics folder, and I can confirm that by typing pwd, which stands for print working directory. If I run pwd, you can see I'm now in users, Andrew J. Mead, desktop Node Basics, which is exactly what we expected. Fantastic. All right, I know we covered 3 new commands, so let me break them down one more time. When you run pwd, it shows you where on your computer you're currently running the terminal from. Sometimes it's your desktop folder, sometimes it's your downloads folder. It's really wherever you want. If you want to get a list of all the files and folders in the current folder, you can use ls to print them out. Lastly, we used cd, which stands for change directory, to switch folders and navigate into Node Basics. Excellent. In the next video, we're going to be creating a Hello World Node application and running it from the terminal. I promise pretty soon we're going to get into some more exciting stuff other than basic terminal knowledge. We're going to start writing password management applications and the big to-do application. So stick around and I'll see you next time.